And we welcome you into the Joey Wright Show. It's the second episode of Season 2, and we have a lot planned for you this afternoon, this evening, this morning, whenever you're watching it. It really makes no difference to me. We're going to dial up Ricardo Vargas, our NBA analyst. I know he was on the show 6 times last season and an additional time for the Christmas special, but he knows his stuff. He's great to talk to. We are going to talk some basketball with old Ricky V. That'll be fun. I have a segment that we'll get to it when we get to it. I don't want to say too much about it right now, but if it goes as I have planned it out and as I think it will go, it'll be a lot of fun. And then the first Joey Wright rundown, in which I will discuss a plethora of random topics, as well as some topics that I have thought of already. I'm going to talk some baseball, basketball, football, hockey, NASCAR, and then I will generate 5 random topics that I will talk about for no longer than 30 seconds. It's kind of hard to explain. Not really, but I'll explain more as we go along. The Joey Wright Rundown, that's going to be a fun segment to film. But stick with us. We're going to dial up Ricardo after this break, and then surprise segment, and then the Joey Wright Rundown. Stick with us on the Joey Wright Show. Welcome back to the Joey Wright Show. We're going to get Ricardo Vargas on the Joey Wright hotline, creative name, in just a moment. But first I want to say it's taken me several takes just to introduce Ricardo Vargas. And without this trusty can of Mountain Dew throwback, I would not have been able to get through this take. So, you take a drink of throwback, refreshing, clear the old throat, and dial up Ricardo Vargas. Let's give him a call. We're going to talk some basketball with him. It will be a good time. About to call him. Ready? Here we go. Never know where this is going to go. He might not even answer. That's the fear. Here we go. Two rings so far. Hey, there he is. Ricardo Vargas joins the Joey Wright Show. Ricardo, you are in Colorado right now, if I'm not mistaken. How you doing?
Hey, Joe, I'm doing pretty good. Just enjoying summer vacation.
That's great to hear. Now, Ricardo, out in Colorado, how are the fans out there reacting to this year's NBA Finals? It's been a crazy series so far, and it shows no signs. That
it has, but I haven't talked with many people here, but.
Right.
I'm assuming they're thinking, what I'm thinking. It's been a crazy series, and it's been a good one.
Well, it's certainly been a crazy series. I mean, if you're a fan of either side, I don't know if you can necessarily call the series good. Probably more so if you're on the Golden State side. It's been better for those fans.
Yeah, there's been some crazy stuff. We've been talking about you, me, and Abram.
Yep.
But
man, Abram, in this group chat that we're in, Ricardo, Abram, and I, for the viewers that don't know, Abram this morning was mad. He was irritated at the finals game last night.
He gets heated.
Yep.
He gets heated in those group chats.
Man, it was I don't even know how to describe it. It was crazy how Abram was reacting to that game. Man. I do
agree with him that the NBA is rigged, but there's
you think so?
nothing I can do about it.
Right. Well, I don't like to say that any professional sporting organization is rigged, but I think with the NBA there's a little more out there that kind of gives you a reason to suspect that it is than with the other leagues.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But hey, I'll still watch it. I'll still be a fan, but it is what it is.
I wanted to discuss a few things with you, just about the NBA, and I don't want to do this for too long because some non-NBA fans that watched last week's episode they weren't too happy that it was just NBA basketball that was being discussed. But I want to get your thoughts on the suspension of Mr. Draymond Green for his actions in Game 4. I don't think he should have been suspended. What's your take?
I agree with you. He shouldn't have been suspended, but the league think he did, and it's their call. But I wouldn't have suspended him. And it's the finals. They're a little bit more aggressive. And hey, stuff happens in the game.
Yeah. And our producer Jason Liggett was telling me before we taped this. Obviously, it's the fact that they went back and had to review the foul and then make the decision rather than just call it straight up. You know,
Right.
he said if you miss it, you miss it, and you got to move on. You know, you don't go back and call someone out.
Be an NBA referee, man. They have a tough job.
They do.
That's a lot of pressure.
Well, I got to tell you, I umpire men's league kickball for the Urbana Park District, and they, you know, there's a lot of pressure on me as an ump when I'm doing those games. I don't know how the big leaguers can do it. Big league umps.
Man, how's that going for you?
It's going all right. You know, the winning team always seems to like the job I do as an umpire. I got it. Yeah, yeah. But no, it's a lot of fun. It's an absolute blast to do that. Yep.
That's good. Getting your feet wet in there. That's good. I
Yep.
like it.
Following the footsteps of Abram Washington, we bring him up again. Yep.
Oh man.
Man, it's been. I got to tell you, I was doing some games the other night, and it wasn't necessarily the warmest of evenings, but man, I was struggling until I got some Powerade in the middle of the second game I was doing 3 games that night. It was rough.
I do like some Powerade, to be honest.
Powerade, Gatorade's better, and I'll talk about that on the show here a little later. But Powerade's cheaper, and it's not like so much worse to where you're like, I'm drinking a second-rate sports beverage. You know, it tastes somewhat like Gatorade, so it's cheaper.
I do like Powerade, and I do like the taste, and like I just feel like there's the underdog, and I'm just gonna support
Right.
it. You know, like I like Gatorade too, but hey, you know, Powerade every once in a while it's not that bad. I don't drink that much, but when I do, I don't mind having a Powerade in my system.
Yep. Powerade is the official sports drink of Tony Stewart, product of the Coca-Cola Company. And now, Ricardo, I want to get your take. Advertisements on NBA jerseys that are coming. The fans don't like them. I don't like them. I don't like the prospect of advertisements on the jerseys. That might sound odd coming from a NASCAR fan. What's your take on?
Well, I really don't like it because, you know, they're making tons and tons of money. There's no reason to put more advertisements, you know, ruin like the rich history behind each jersey. And like, I really don't like it, but I don't know, maybe they'll grow on me, but as of right now, I really don't like the idea.
I hear you. You know, I mean, making enough money as it is, it just doesn't like, it's like soccer. That's one of the reasons I can't get into soccer. You got all those ads on the MLS jerseys, and you know, every other league. It's certainly not just the MLS.
They do have a lot.
Yeah, it's man. But you know, you just got to deal with it. It won't affect the quality of play any. So I don't like it, but you gotta move on. So how are things in Colorado right now?
Man, they're good. They're good. I've just been relaxing, doing a little bit of walking, watching some stuff on the internet. Right. Nothing too crazy, just enjoying the time off the school, you know?
Right. I hear you. It obviously you're a student at Parkland College. For those that don't know, it's a grind. It's
a battle. It's a tough battle.
I hear you.
I feel like I don't know if I'll be able to win it, you know, but I'm just gonna keep on fighting. Low on stamina, but hey, just gotta keep on pushing.
Oh man, America's rooting for you. Yeah.
I appreciate that. That helps a lot.
Yep. Yep. And you go there. Abram Washington goes there. It's a great destination for students. It's a pretty good community college. You got to show some love to Parkland University.
Go Cobras.
Go Cobras.
But yeah, it's nice. It does its job.
Yep.
And I do mine.
Yeah, I hear you. Certainly, man. I don't know where to go. At a dead end right now. Man,
so many decisions in like so little time.
Yeah. I was talking about the conversation. Like usually these conversations just keep on going. You know how it is. But
I hear you, Joe. But hey, sometimes I'm just speechless. I don't even know what to say to my own mother.
Well, the problem
I'm in the kitchen with her, and I don't even know what to say.
I mean, I hear you there. I hear you there. The problem is
some Chick-fil-A while being here, and I greatly appreciate that.
Well, they have Chick-fil-A's in Colorado. Man, they had Chick-fil-A's when I lived in Arkansas, when I lived in West Virginia. I love Chick-fil-A. Absolutely.
Man,
I love it.
Terrific, but they are always jam-packed.
Right.
Like, my goodness. They're like, it's crazy. The drive-thru is crazy. Like,
Yeah,
it's worth it.
I mean, you put a Chick-fil-A anywhere, except apparently here in Champaign-Urbana, it'll do well.
Yes, it does. And the employees are just so nice. They're
Right.
just some of the kindest people on the face of this planet.
Right.
They just go beyond for you. You know, like I was like wandering around the store. I'm like looking for a straw, and this nice lady says, "What are you looking for?" I said, "Ma'am, a straw." And she got it from me. I'm like, "Thank you. I
Man.
appreciate you."
That reminds me, I was somewhere, and for some reason the exact location doesn't ring a bell. It was the other day, and I encountered some fantastic customer service. It was at Buffalo Wild Wings. Matter of fact, the waiter was very nice, very kind. He was a good guy. He's a good guy.
That's good. You know,
Yeah.
I love good customer service. You know.
Yeah, and I love Buffalo Wild Wings, so it was a win-win.
That's great.
Yep.
Buffalo Wild Wings, great. I was there a few days ago.
Yeah.
The server, he was really nice, but like it just took so much time. I went late at night, and I had to wait
Right.
like 40 minutes for like 5 wings. I wasn't that hungry. I'm like, come on, man.
I tell you.
And the chickens.
Oh, go ahead. No, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I'm done.
Okay, yeah, I hear you. You want to know a place that takes forever? The Cracker Barrel. That place is just unreal. You go there and it's, man, you're not eating for another 2 hours once you get your table, if you ever get your table. I mean, I like the Cracker Barrel. Don't get me wrong, but I mean they got to step up their game. You know.
I've never been there, but
Never
I've
been?
heard some things.
Right. It's good. It's good Southern food. Good steak. If you ever get the steak, good hamburgers.
I might have to swing by and give it a crack.
I like that pun. Yeah. Just before I let you go, Ricardo, I just want to thank you for coming on the air. Obviously, we're a little rusty here. First phone interview of the season. It has been a while, but I appreciate your time. Certainly, we'll look to get you on the Joyride show again this season. Yeah, I just got to thank you for agreeing to come on short notice too.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Joe. It was a real honor to be on here, and I really appreciate every time I'm here. I love talking to you. I love watching the show.
Yeah.
It's just love everything about it.
And real quick, one final thought. Who do you have winning the NBA Finals? I know that's what I originally got you on here to talk about. We kind of drifted away from that, but just real quick, who's Ricky V picking in the finals going into Game 6?
Man, Ricky V's choosing the Golden State Warriors.
You
I'm
think
not
so?
a fan, but
Right.
I think the Warriors are going to win.
It'll be tough for the Cavs to win the next 2 games. 2 games in a row, with Draymond Green coming back for the Warriors. All right, Ricardo, well, thank you for agreeing to be on the show. Thank you for giving me the interview, of course. I hope you have a nice, safe time in Colorado, and I look forward to seeing you when you get back to Champaign-Urbana.
All right, Joey. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Take care.
You as well.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I was waiting to see if he was going to hang up first or if I would ultimately do the hanging up. Obviously, we're a little rusty there. I hadn't talked to Ricardo in a while before that interview, but obviously he's such a great guy to talk to, knows his stuff, gives an interesting perspective on the finals, on restaurants, on really anything that you talk to Ricardo about. Coming up, I'm going to do that surprise segment. If it goes as I plan it, it'll turn out pretty well. And then the Joey Wright rundown. Stick with us. You're watching the Joey Wright Show. Back on the Joey Wright Show. Now that interview I did with Ricardo, there's some awkward silences in there. It was an all right interview. Nothing too special. Nothing too crazy. It was a good, solid interview. Any mistakes in that, I'll attribute to having not talked to him in person, voice to voice for a while. We text each other pretty frequently and discuss our thoughts on the finals and things like that. 2 people that I do talk to very frequently, voice to voice. That's a weird term to use. My brothers, Johnny and Tommy Wright. Johnny going into 8th grade this year, Tommy Wright going into 7th grade at Urbana Middle School. This is pretty childish, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to call them up. They're going to answer, hopefully, and then I'm going to hang up. They're about to get joeyed. So Not sure if Tommy's home right now, actually, so we'll call Johnny first. And then if Tommy picks up, great. If he doesn't pick up, then I'll just get mad at him at home. So we're going to dial up Johnny Wright, get him on the Joey Wright Show hotline now. Remember, we get him on the line. He's going to answer, hopefully. That would be getting him on the line, and then I'm going to hang up. So here we go. Let's give Johnny Wright a call. Here we go. All right. One ring.
Yes, Joey?
Got him. Oh, man. That was funny. He said, yes, Joey, and I hung up. Oh, man, he'll be hearing about that for a while. Let's call Tommy. I don't think he'll answer because I don't think he's home. But we'll try it. And if he doesn't answer, I wouldn't be surprised. I gotta put him on speaker. He didn't take his phone with him out of the house because I saw it when I left. Okay, that's his voicemail. We don't need to hear that. You know what? I'm going to be bold since we couldn't get Tommy on the line. Let's get Johnny again. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Let's find him here. Here he is. There, here we go.
Yes, Joey?
Got him again. Man, it takes him a while to say yes, Joey. That was like the fakest laugh. Wow. But it takes him a while to say yes, Joey. And then when he does, you hit him with the end call. Man, that's what you resort to when you can't figure out to do anything else. The NHL has decided to expand to Las Vegas, according to USA Today. That concludes just the little childish segment of this episode of the Joey Wright Show. Coming up, the Joey Wright Rundown, where I will discuss some random topics, randomly generated topics, and then topics that I have already thought up, and those topics include Major League Baseball, NASCAR, the NFL, the NBA, the National Hockey League. I was going to have Ricardo select a topic, but I forgot to ask him. And I might discuss something else as well. I've got the farmer's market on here, but I don't know if I'll talk about that. That's all coming up on the Joey Wright Show. Stick with us for the Joey Wright Rundown coming up next. Welcome back to the Joey Wright Show. I want to take just a second to introduce the Joey Wright Rundown, a new segment for this season of the Joey Wright Show. What the Joey Wright Rundown is, I'm saying that pretty fast, what the Joey Wright Rundown is, it's a segment where I will discuss 10 topics, 5 of them kind of pre-thought out, and those are the NBA, the NHL, MLB, NFL, and NASCAR, 5 biggest sporting organizations in American sports. And then I will generate 5 other random topics that are totally random to me. I have no idea what they will be. And I will discuss those 10 topics, each one individually, for no more than 30 seconds at a time. And ideally no less than 30 seconds at a time either. So let's generate some topics and see what I will be discussing in addition to those 5 sporting organizations. It's from ratespeeches.com. That's where I'm generating the ideas from. Totally random topics that someone could give speeches about, and these topics are, I'll let you, don't know how well the camera's picking that up, happiness, rivers, weight gain, cable television, and grief. Those are the 5 topics that I will be discussing in addition to Major League Baseball, NASCAR, the NFL, the NBA, and the NHL. I'm going to take just a second to write these down, so just give me a second to write these down so I can use my timer in addition to I don't know. Just I'm gonna write these down. Happy Rivers weight gain. Cable television. Cable TV and grief. And the reason, whoa, and the reason why I'm writing those down is I can't look at them on the screen of my phone and the timer at the same second. Obviously, the timer is what I need to time it. So let me turn the ringer up and discuss Major League Baseball. It's the first of these topics. Timer starts right now. Major League Baseball obviously in full swing. It's baseball season in America. In discussing Major League Baseball, the thing I want to do is predict a world champion for this year's World Series. Obviously, the Chicago Cubs are having a very good season, but I don't like predicting the Cubs to win the World Series because they have not won a World Series in more than, I don't know what the exact number of years is. But I'm picking the Cubs this year. I really like their chances. Chicago Cubs 2016 World Champions, and there's the timer for Major League Baseball. When I discuss Major League Baseball in depth later in the season, I will most likely change that, but I couldn't think of another team in the 30 seconds. Let's talk about happiness, the first of our randomly generated topics. That's the stopwatch. I need the timer. Timer starts now. Happiness, obviously, everyone likes to be happy. I'm happy when I'm happy. So, there's not a whole lot you can talk about with the subject of happiness. It's better than sadness. It's better than anger. It's better than any other emotion. Really, when you're happy, you're happy. It's pretty cut and dry. Happy. Happy. Happiness. Okay. Probably discuss that for a good 25 seconds. Talk about NASCAR. It's the next thing on this list. Obviously, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series in full swing. This is my wheelhouse. They raced at Michigan, the Firekeepers Casino, last Sunday. Joey Logano won that race. A new downforce package was in play for that Michigan race. Brought exciting racing to the viewers at the track on TV. It was a great race to watch. The Firekeepers Casino 2016 4. I don't know. I don't like Joey Logano, but he won. I don't like him. I'm not a fan. And the timer expires. Let's talk about rivers, the next of our randomly generated topics. Rivers, obviously, they flow through various countries. You got the Mississippi River in America, the Nile River in Africa. Africa is obviously a continent, not a country. The Nile River, flows through countries in Africa. Rivers bring water to people. You could swim in a river, I guess, if you were so inclined. You'd have the current to deal with. But, hey, go swim in a river. Bridges go over rivers. As the timer expires, let's talk about the National Football League as the timer starts. National Football League, the most popular sporting organization in America. There's no doubt about that. Statistics prove that. Super Bowl 50 was won by the Denver Broncos. Who wins Super Bowl 51? That's the big question. I can't call it in the offseason this early, but certainly look for all the playoff teams from this past year to do well. I like the Vikings this year. I really do. We'll talk about that later on in the season. As the timer expires, I really don't know if I like the Vikings more than any other team at this point. I just thought of a team and went with it. Let's talk about weight gain, the third of our randomly generated topics. Timer started. Obviously, you gain too much weight, you get obese. That's pretty cut and dry as well. Gain a little too much weight, but not a lot too much weight, you're overweight. My dog's overweight. Not by a lot. His name's Rocky. He's a schnauzer mix, 5 years old. Just want to say hi to Rocky. He's at home, probably sleeping right now. Getting his haircut tomorrow. So he'll look good. Timer expired. Talk about the NBA. Man, the Golden State Warriors really let me down. I was on the show last week. I was feeling good about them. I was like, man, this series isn't going to go more than 5 games. It's impossible for that to happen. And then it happened. because of course that happens when I try to predict someone to win something, they lose. So I'm going to predict the Cavaliers to win Game 6 with the hope that I jinx them as well and the Golden State Warriors win the NBA title. Go Mavs as the time expires. And to give a little shout out to the Dallas Mavericks. Cable television, the fourth of our randomly generated topics. Cable television, obviously I'm on cable television right now, or on YouTube, or Urbana Public Television. Cable television gives, you get a lot of channels. You don't have to deal with the things that you'd have to deal with satellite TV where, it rains too heavily or something. The signal goes out. At least that's what happened last time I had satellite TV. Maybe they fixed that. I don't know. Go cable. The NHL. Timer starts. I mentioned before the break that the NHL expanding to Las Vegas at some point, I presume. I didn't read the article. I just saw the headline. But I think the NHL would be a good fit in Las Vegas. It's about time that Las Vegas got a professional sporting team. Obviously, you've got to deal with gambling and stuff coming from Las Vegas, but I don't think that's a problem. People gamble, and it's just going to happen. That's the timer for the NHL. Grief is our final topic of the Joey Wright rundown. Timer starts now. Obviously, grief is a heavier subject than certainly happiness. It's what we started off with. Or maybe we did happiness second. I don't know. Obviously, grief. People cope with grief in various ways, and that's healthy. Grief is a necessary part of life. I really wasn't expecting grief to be on the list of topics that I generated, but obviously it's a normal part of life, and it's healthy to grieve tragedies in your own way, I guess is what I'm trying to say. That concludes the Joey Wright rundown, and I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. Just boom, boom, boom. You went from NASCAR to Rivers, or Rivers to NASCAR, something like that, and weight gain, and that was fun. That will certainly be back on a future episode of the Joey Wright Show. We're going to close down the show when we come back. It's been a good episode. Stick with us on the Joey Wright Show. Woo! Back on the Joey Wright Show, let's close things down. The second season's second episode now drawing to a close. Next week's episode will be a good one. I have some things that I would like to do. I'm not sure if I will do them. But certainly if everything goes like I want it to, Season 2's third episode, I keep saying season, I want to say episode, will be a great one. I want to thank UPTV, Ricardo Vargas, and everyone here at the Joey Wright Show, myself, for just making this a possibility. The Joey Wright Rundown was fun. A little rusty with that interview with Ricardo, I won't lie, but it was certainly a blast. And then I got to thank Johnny Wright, my brother, for those two cameos. Man, that was funny. Really, when I did it, it sounded like a fake laugh. I think it did. Maybe it didn't, but it was, in my opinion, and I don't know why I find it so funny. It was truly hilarious that he answered the phone. He thought I was going to say something legit, or whatever word you want to use there, real, and then I didn't. I just hung up on him. So that was a good time. He's in Springfield right now, having some fun. So before I just start rambling on about that segment, this concludes the Joey Wright Show. Thank you for watching. Tune in next week, episode 3 of season 2, right here from the UP. Now, back on the Joey Wright Show, I got to tell you, I've done this closing. It's been Back on the Joey Wright Show, we're going to close things down. I got to tell you, I've done a few takes to this closing, so now I really know what I'm going to want to say here. It's back on the Joey Wright Show. It's taken me several more takes than I would have imagined it would have taken me to get through this closing segment. But nevertheless, Back on the Joey Wright Show, I got to tell you, it's taken me several more takes than I would have thought it would have taken me to get through this closing segment. But real quick, I just want to thank our band Public Television, Ricardo Vargas, and everyone who's made this show possible. I think episode 2 was a pretty good one. It's just my opinion. If you would like to give me some feedback on the Joey Wright Show, leave a comment down below, of course, or you can get in touch with me on Twitter. Joey_Wright99 is the account. I look forward to doing episode 3 of season 2 next week. So I'm still working on a new closing catchphrase. Obviously, I retired "You Stay Safe, America" at the end of this most recent school year. So until I figure out that new catchphrase, just have a great week and tune in for episode 3 next Tuesday.